I'll make a video on Wizard101 when pigs fly. Well, it's time to make a video on Wizard101. Now, if you know me, then you know I don't really care much for MMOs. And when I find one that legitimately interests me, it tends to stick out in my mind. There was a time period where anyone and everyone was making MMOs. After the wild success of World of Warcraft, every gaming studio thought that making a clone would equal profits. It became so rampant that 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons was designed more like an MMO because of the popularity of them at the time. But one of them managed to separate themselves from everyone else, and that was Wizard101. Combining the popularity of the magic school archetype cemented by Harry Potter and turning it into an MMO, Wizard101 was directed towards a younger audience, and frankly, it was a great idea. Now, when this game came out, I was about 15, and yes, I know, this is a witch's hat. I only had a witch's hat. I did not have any wizard stuff, so I had to use last Halloween's witch things. Just roll with it. Roll with it like I did. I'm trying, guys. I do have a staff, though. It's a walking stick. And when I was 15, I was really afraid to jump into World of Warcraft. My mom was a little protective of me, so I always thought World of Warcraft was too mature. But I was desperately curious to learn more about it, so when I saw Wizard101, I was immediately interested. And you know, my family only had a Mac, and Wizard101 was literally my only option for a free game that was compatible with Mac, but that's beside the point. And it's incredibly simple, yet charming. It relies more on classic fantasy archetypes than it does Harry Potter. You create a wizard, you're immediately introduced to the big bad guy, and holy crap, you use cards to cast spells? Using cards to cast spells was what basically set me over the edge with this game, in a good way, since I love trading cards to an unhealthy degree. And this was still during the time period of my life where I was violently obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh! Seeing wizards use trading cards to cast spells just connected with me. And it was integrated in the game decently well. Though there were times when you were just trying to get by, but you're sucked into someone else's duel because they had to set it up like you were actually joining a game while you were in-game. And in the beginning, you really couldn't run from it. Or maybe I was too stupid to figure out how to do it. Who knows? But you collect spell cards to make your deck stronger to fight bigger monsters. First, seeing the world was magical, and having it all be free was like a dream come true. I knew I would never be able to convince my parents to pay for the monthly fee of World of Warcraft, so being the rebellious kid I was, I logged onto Wizard101 without my parents' permission! And having access to the game without having to bug my parents for money was a huge stress relief. There were times where my family would be concerned about our money situation, so I always felt guilty asking them for money. For really anything, honestly. Even when I asked them to buy me a single pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I felt awful. But then I played just enough of Wizard101 to find out you had to pay to unlock all the areas. And then I stopped playing. Like everyone else I know. But now I have money! And gosh dang it, I'm going to learn what more you can do! And this is my wizard, Connor Dreamcaller. I'm a storm wizard, and I got black and purple because those are the coolest color combinations. And now, oh gosh, the graphics have improved so much. Wow. I mean, like, I have a 2K monitor and I can actually output in 2K. It's still very blocky, but like, it looked so much worse when I first started playing. They made some very great improvements over the course of these several years. I always felt like this part was very awkward. I mean, like, hey, you're a new student, and I'm like, okay, why am I here? Did you ask me to come here? I mean, like, I get it, it's supposed to just introduce the bad guy, but I felt like this was always an awkward introduction to the game. I suppose technically we're not really wizards, we're summoners, because all we're doing is summoning creatures, which there is a difference, I guarantee you. But I didn't care at the time because I was too impressed by how cool everything was. Wait, Ambrose, why am I the one fighting? He's standing right there. Aren't you the one who's supposed to be dealing with Malastare? He's the bad guy. You said you would deal with him. Oh, okay. It's before orientation. That's why we're alone in front of your tower. Alone. Not raising any red flags at all.
Oh my, you look a bit the worse for wear.
Are you, what? No, I feel great. I'm dancing. Do you not see me dancing? It's a jolly good time over here. Now you see, Merle Ambrose's, you know, place where he resides, I always appreciated it because it actually looks lived in. And that's one of the problems I have with the majority of this game, is that it doesn't look like it's being lived in. It looks very clean, uniform. And it's a problem with how immersive it is. This area, this is where most of the places should look. They really added a lot of detail to this. Before, there was no fog, there was no brambles that appeared when I first ever started playing the game. My goodness, they actually made it look like the place is overrun because it's supposed to be evil and taken over because there's undead. Well, shucks. This is such an improvement. And if you wanted to avoid a battle, you would always stick to the sidewalks. But oftentimes in the early days of Wizard101, that wouldn't always work. And these little wisps are to heal you and fix your mana in case you were getting weak. But yeah, there was a lot of times where I couldn't even pick them up in the early days of Wizard101. But now I have no doubt that they've made so many improvements.
Souls, I have to say, I'm quite impressed by your spell.
There's so much more voice acting. My god, it feels so alive now. So apparently there was you can enable classic mode, which is before the big update to the graphics. So we're gonna see how that looks like in a second. Yeah, that looks very like it used to be. Dang. That's, goodness. This is how it was. Blast from the past. Oh man, I have not seen this. A waterfall, which just seems so wrong to have in a library where there's a bunch of books.
I don't think I've seen you in the library before. I'm Harold Argleston, Master Librarian Extraordinaire.
It's good to meet you, big doggo.
I'll send you now to Mr. Lincoln, our registrar in Ravenwood. He will introduce you to our professors and help you begin your studies.
I get to meet President Lincoln? Man, this game has it all. Mr. President, you don't look the way your monument details. I think you may want to make a complaint to the artist.
While in the Storm School, we instruct young diviners to strike hard, fast as lightning, defeat the enemy before they know what hit them.
Oh god, you're my teacher. Oh, I regret everything now. Then again, how often do you get taught by a frog? Maybe this was the best choice.
We pyromancers of the Fire School prefer to carefully fan the flames. Utilizing damage over time spells, we slow burn our enemies to cinders.
I made the wrong mistake. I take everything back. I definitely should have been a pyromancer. Can I change?
And I'm Malone, not, exactly a professor. We haven't had a real death professor since the last one turned evil and destroyed the school, so...
Yeah, I heard that happens with death professors. Seems to be an ongoing problem in literally every form of fiction whatsoever. They really spared no expense for furnishing, didn't they? Gosh, I'm so glad I enrolled in this school. Now you see, this is the thing that I was too stupid to understand when I was younger. The lightning bats, you see the little 2? That means you need to have 2 pips right here. Guys? I'm stuck. I just talked to Milo, and I'm still in the same position I was when he stopped talking to me. My camera will not move. I never got far enough in order to find out what's behind the door, but apparently you can find out what's behind the door pretty quick. I feel so accomplished. Like, my whole life, I've always wondered what was behind the door to the waterfall. Now I know. Holy crap! It's the personification of America itself. Oh, I come from a land, from a faraway place where the caravan camels roam. Where the hell am I going? There we are. I am. It's hard to control this. Where the caravan camels roam, where it's flat and immense and the heat is intense. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. I have a camel. The joke is I have a camel. Man, Croctopolis sure is an adventure. Let's see what this guy's selling. He's selling an actual person of his race, which I'm pretty sure is illegal, and a heckhound. Much more vicious than a hellhound. Like, seriously, is this guy trying to sell? Bro, what the heck? Guys, I'm trying to fight you.
I mean, like, I need to fight one of you. Anyone. Just any takers, please. Please? How about you? I don't know what's going on. Usually I just run into you guys and you guys pick a fight with me. Now that's not happening. Why? I just need a Sakui Ripper to fight. Fight me. Hey, no, fight me. Look at me. Look at me!
So they released Pirate 101, and I didn't want to play it then, and I don't want to play it now. I am sorry, developers. I'm sure you put a lot of heart and effort into it, but I really just don't care. Ironically, one of my favorite movie franchises is Pirates of the Caribbean, so, you know, you think that would be right up my alley, but it's not. So, what happened to Wizard 101? Really, the question should be, what happened to the company behind Wizard 101, King's Isle Entertainment? And that question has a straightforward answer. Wizard 101 still appeals to kids, however, their marketing campaign isn't as strong as it was when it started, largely because the company shifted their attention from MMOs to smartphone games. A lot of smartphone games, and that's all they've been releasing. Quick aside, when this trailer dropped, I thought Wizard 101 had changed and that the game looked like this now. So I hopped back onto my computer to re-download it and found out it was exactly the same. I have no doubt I'm not the only one who did that, and I felt slightly betrayed. It really rubbed me the wrong way. I want this. Look at this. Gorgeous. Like, this is what I want from King's Isle Entertainment.
What is this? A letter? How odd. Trolls can't read. By the handwriting, a Cyclops wrote this. They never dot their I's.
Support for Wizard 101 never stopped, and the developers are always trying to improve the game. New areas are added, more quests, just like an MMO should. And that's probably because Wizard 101 is the one game that makes them the most money, but I have no proof of that, that's just my guess. It would not surprise me if that were the case. In short, the beloved MMO from long ago is here to stay for us to play. I kind of wish they'd make a game set in the Wizard 101 universe that was a single-player story-driven campaign, but I doubt that'll happen, and I only want that because I only really play single-player story-driven games. But whatever. That's everything I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay beautiful, and keep playing. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel, or there's merch that you can buy in the link below. Tell me what your favorite memories of Wizard 101 is, and also tell me if you also experienced the same thing when you saw that one really, really pretty trailer. Cause that would, I want that so bad. What studio animated that? That was really good.
Greetings, my name is Diego Santiago Corriquez Ramirez Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez III.